everyone. Welcome. We hope that you've been able to get one or two gems from the basketballs that we just gave you guys in the last 20 minutes before the break. Thanks for sticking around. So now we will delve more into the topic. So before the podcast started, you were mentioning to me how, as far as you're concerned, responsibility in relationships is a myth. Do you want to speak to us more about this? Why do you say so?
Yes, I feel it's a myth because we we are not being true to ourselves when taking responsibility. We are when taking responsibilities. We take what works for somebody else and apply it on ourselves, forgetting that we are different people. Two people from the same household have different experiences in that particular house. So you can't expect what works for your friend, the way your friend's relationship works, the way your friend discharge his or her duties in the relationship. You expect your friends it to work for you and your partner, forgetting that both of you have different experiences. So I think first thing first is coming to both of you agreeing that okay, we want to do this stuff together. We want to date, we want to get married. Let's come to an agreement on how we want it to be. In that agreement, you share responsibilities. You don't expect anybody to impose one on you, or you don't have any expectation that so person is going to do so person is going to do this for me, and likewise am I supposed to do this for you. Like, it's not your responsibility as a lady that you must have sex with your boyfriend. You must satisfy his sexual desires. It's not your responsibility. So it's something, but society kind of like, okay, since you are dating, you must be sexually active. But sexually active whenever you want sex, you satisfy his sexual desires. That is once we told you that you must satisfy him. It's not your responsibility to do that. Society is giving you that order that you as a lady, you have decided to accept and put that burden on yourself. So I believe firstly is push whatever society has to offer. Both of you come together and have an agreement. It might look very, very formal, but with agreement, before you start dating, before the emotions get high, before you lose your home training, you you start making decisions. Okay, look, I don't like somebody calling me beyond 11 o'clock. Okay, please. Okay, we negotiate. 10:30 is the maximum time I can receive. 10:30 p.m. maximum time I can receive calls. Okay, me, I don't like for emotional support now. Me, I want a guy that is older than that. I like PDA. When we're walking in the roads, we're holding hands and walking. The guy is, because you're my boyfriend, you must do it for me because you're my boyfriend. And the guy doesn't like it. The guy likes to walk and swing his hands, but you want to walk and cling to him like like the ocean hugs the shore. That is your own particular this thing. Both of you come together and draw your bring your demand. Then you should negotiate everything. This is formal, yes, it's very, very formal. Negotiate everything, and then okay, let's see where the emotions will come in. So that those tiny things that will cause resentment are not there, because there's something ladies do. I don't know whether it's just me, but I noticed that a lady will be angry with a guy and she will just keep quiet, and expecting that the guy who is Jesus Christ to know in her head that she's angry with him. The
You
guy
keep
is doing what?
your line keeps breaking, like your voice keeps breaking in mid sentence.
Okay, so let me go back again. There's something ladies do that I don't know if it's just me or is a general thing. A lady is angry with a guy like me now, for example, and she won't tell me, and she expects that I'm Jesus Christ, that I know what's in her heart, and I know why she's angry, and I'm living my life the way thinking that everything is all right, but false, nothing is all right. So because there's something she probably expects for me to do that I didn't do, or probably she doesn't expect me to do that I did. So if we have these terms and conditions, this agreement, whether it's formally written or in sealed in a notepad or whatever it is. If we have that, I know what I'm supposed to do, and what she is supposed to do. So we know that this is our own token that we're adding to the relationship for the relationship to work.
Mm.
One, nobody's taking responsibility of any other person's shortcomings or emotions. I take my own small token and say, okay, this is what I can bring to the relationship for it to work based on what you want. And you say, okay, this is what you can bring. And we have already agreed on this particular token that we're offering. So I think that's with that way, everything is going to work. And also, as regards responsibility, it's not just about um, individuals demanding from individuals, about people taking responsibility of the relationship. The relationship is failing. You don't just fold your hand because it's failing. Like, you are dating a person and you know that communication is not good. The relationship is sliding. You just fold your hand and say, if it wants to end, let it end now. It doesn't work that way. Since that person is putting effort, you yourself as a person take responsibility also, because you agree to work in that relationship. There is something they say that there is no two times in a relationship. There's no time in a relationship where both parties have equally invested in a relationship. At times, you might want your space in the relationship. You just want to have yourself in the relationship. It might be a month or two. The other person is the person who really wants the relationship to work out well. At times, yours might drop, the person own might come up. That's the way it works, give and take. But when you believe that as a guy, it's your duty to make the relationship work, or as a lady, you should make the relationship work, I think that's because society has given you that responsibility as the guy to make it work, or as a lady now to make it work. Then I really think that system or that approach to a relationship is flawed. That's my own take on this one stuff.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So you also said, okay, we touched on how people should take responsibility for the roles that they've chosen. So what do you advise people to do when their partner is not taking responsibility? Let's look at it from a romantic angle, and then also just in life in general, because we really hammered on about responsibilities in relationship, but even in your day-to-day life, with your colleagues, with your relatives, with your friends, with your children, with anybody really, sometimes people shirk on their responsibilities. How do you advise that um, the individual that's being taken for idiot? How do you suggest that this person handles it? How should they approach it in one, a romantic situation, and then two, in the other situations? You can break down
I
the other situations as you wish.
I think in the right situation, communication
Mm.
is where I feel comes in. If you feel like this person is not pulling their weight, like, every relationship has honeymoon phase. Steve Harvey said it's 90 days. Some might be lucky, it might go beyond 90 days. But I think 90 days is the maximum. Most times it's just 1 month. After 1 month, everybody's tired, everybody starts acting individually. So you know what this person can do with that 90 days, or that working 90 days, for example. Now, you have an idea of what this person is going to do, or what he or she can do, how they act when they are very, very emotional. But suddenly the person's interest drops. I think you see the person and say, look, oh, this is what I feel about this talk. What's going on? And the person is sincere with you. The person will tell you exactly what it is. That's one thing why I still go back to, before the relationship happens, you people have to make it with, before the emotion starts popping up. As long as you have told the person, look, this is what you want, and the person is still okay, let's see how it's going to go, or let's be friends. You guys should iron out those basic things about yourself. Like people fight differently. Some people, when they are angry, they keep quiet. Some people, when they're angry, they want you to trash the situation at the moment. Those things are what you are supposed to do before the relationship starts, so that you know exactly what you are going to. And so, if one person is not playing their cards right, you talk to the person. The person seems to be like, this is the way I am. This is the way I am. I believe in patience, but you won't be patient, and I become stupid. So, or you not feel like you are now like you are the one, because no matter how it is,
Are
feeling
you
a
guys
relationship.
listening? Ladies, don't ever let somebody's son take you the idiot. And vice versa for the guys. Don't let anybody's daughter take you the what? The idiot. Okay,
Because,
sorry, carry on.
yeah, because once you are the one pulling the relationship for a period of
Mm,
time, you get tired. Like you start feeling that the person is manipulating you, and the
mm.
person is using you, and
Aren't
that
they? Aren't they doing that? Isn't that what they're doing?
well, the person doesn't just care. The person
Yeah,
feels like, I'm not forcing you to do what you're doing.
yeah,
I didn't put gun in your head and tell you to do A and B. You are doing it on your own accord.
yeah,
So he or she, it's not it's there's nothing bad with what I'm doing.
yeah.
So once you feel that way, once you begin to feel that way, that you are the one pulling this thing, look, it's not rocket science. You pull out. But I believe and people change. What people want changes over time. But that means that what they probably wanted in relationship is changing. And we also need to, like, me as a person, like my personal example now, there are times when you are doing something and you find that this thing is not bringing any fruit. Yeah, there's a great wall. Yeah, you're just hitting one wall every day, every day, every day. You start thinking of something else to do.
Yeah.
And so, but everything boils down to communication. If communication is not forthcoming after 1, 2, 3, like 90 days, communication not forthcoming, I think it's time for you to pack your bag and baggages and move to the next one before they take you for granted. Because once
Mm.
that see finish level reach, no matter how
That's
what
one
you
thing
do,
that I yeah. Sorry, carry on.
no matter what you do, they will always not appreciate you.
Mm,
No
mm, mm.
matter what you do, no matter when you say I did this, because they now believe that it's not because they are right that you do whatever you do. So that sea finish, once you feel like that sea finish is beginning to, you're going to approach that sea finish level, just pack your bags and baggages, whatever possession you have,
Exactly. Like
and leave.
I cannot overemphasize this thing. Like, and I always say, like, love is amazing. I'm a very emotional person, and when it comes to romantic stuff, definitely I want us to be in love and blah blah blah. But you see that respect, the day that I smell, just smell that that man has seen me finish, as in you're not respecting me. I just smell you don't have respect. Pew, to the lose. Because you know, okay, sometimes you might not really you might not really like who you love. They can make you angry. So the way you're behaving will be as if maybe you don't really, can say, "Ah, this man still love me." You know what I mean? Because you're angry at me or something. You're not really giving a. But let me just smell something that seems like you don't respect me like this. You have seen me finish. Oh, that's you just see the back of me. That's the end of it. The boom, I would just say, oh, I see, I saw. And that's how good. And people take this advice. It's the truth. What Chika said is true. Once the person has seen you finish, you can do shing bam in this world. As long as the person have respect for you, just forget about it. For the rest of your life, that's going to be your life. See finish. Insult upon insult upon insult from who? Someone that you love. Could never be me, bruv. So yeah, that's that. I just thought to hammer on that because it's something that people at the back need to hear. Loud the
Yeah.
people at the back. Yeah.
As regards other people, like people taking responsibilities, well, I'm the last child, and
Oh, adorable.
yes, I'm the last child. I know that um, as long as my mom and my dad were around, I didn't do anything. Uh, that's one thing I would say. To me, I saw it as enjoyment, as benefit. But growing
Mm,
up now, I'm finding that there's some things that I should have done way younger that I started doing when I was in university.
mm,
Not the concerning day household chores and everything. I did those, you understand.
mm,
But some decision I supposed to have taken for myself, without, I don't need anybody to influence my decision. I didn't start doing that until when I was in university. And I think the earlier we let people make decisions on their own, whatever repercussion that comes from their decision, good or what, if it's good outcome or a bad outcome, or there's something bad happens, all we can do is just to be there to support them. You don't
mm,
you don't need to, you don't guide the person so much when that the person now feels that it's a responsibility to take care of me. When I was in secondary school, then there was this particular guy that he was not doing well in school then. So he had issues with school then, like with authorities in the school then. And there was something he said that struck me. He said, I said, what will your popsy say? Popsy for father. What your popsy say? And
Yeah,
he
so
said,
so for the listeners, just to repeat what he said popsy. In Nigeria, popsy is a slang meaning, as he said, father.
yeah.
Popsi.
So, and he said, well, then go shout. He didn't, let me use pigeon the way he said it. Them go shout. Last, they don't want me to be useless. And we were, I think, SS1, SS2, 15, 16 years. He already knew that his parents have taken the responsibility for his usefulness in society. It was not in his hands. So he could misbehave, they must be there for him. And he was very successful at misbehaving. And he achieved this, and he achieved this
Whoa!
goal. He achieved this goal because they suspended him from the school. Then his father took him to another school. But he knew what was going to happen, that last, they will shout. After shout, they are going to take me somewhere else. So that's idea of if at that age, at the age of 15, he took responsibility of what he wants his life to be. The parents gave him that freedom to make decisions, to manage himself. And whatever decision you make, he suffered the punishment of whatever decision he had to make. He felt it. I think at that age, that kind of comment won't have been what he would have made.
Wow,
So I
wow.
think,
There's so much
yes,
power in what the example you just gave, because in relations to relationships, that's actually big. It's actually big because when you're like laughing off things that are so significant to you, the person will just be like, last, everybody go do all right. And last, what will he do? He will just shout at me. He will not break up with me now. Do you know what I mean? And she'll just continue what she's doing. Or
yeah,
he will not divorce me now. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
you have to like know the kind of things you're willing to, what are your values, kind of things you're willing to let slide. You need to like take a stance. When this person crosses your boundary and your values, just say, listen, I'm not spending the rest of my life with this crap, because we're all adults. It's a different thing. Even that one was even a child, your friend was a child, but a fully grown adult man, there's some kind of things that, no, Mba, you're not gonna give me that. I'm not gonna take that. No, this is the line. Cross it. Just double dare me and cross it. And that's all. And that's all you need to say. Like, you need to make sure that the person understands that it's not a last. He should know that if I cross this line, it's a done deal. Do you know what I mean?
yes,
So I
yes,
think I think you should be very clear about that in your love life, because you can be the most emotional, most lovey-dovey person, but you have to be clear. You have to stand by it. It might be crashing your heart to leave that person, but just know that that person does not respect you. So just be crying and be crying and crawling away till you now meet who actually love and respect you. Do you know what I mean? Don't be the
yes.
last love. What kind of last love is that one? So anyway, that's what I think, Sha, based on what you said. But I think what you said is extremely loud, and people need to like dip that. Both men and women in our dating lives, we need to like really dip that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe people should be people in your lives, no matter how soon they come to your life, they should realize that there's a boundary to where you are going to help them, and your own terms, not their
Terms
own
and
terms.
conditions. Yeah.
Yes, not I will not. You will not go and fight somewhere, then come here and say, guy, at the fight, come and fight for me. Ah, it's not my fight. Fight your fight. So
Abamana. You have to
yes,
be by
so
your
it's
friends now. You have to fight with them. Fight for your squad.
yes. No, it doesn't work like that. I
Mm.
won't just leave whatever thing I'm doing just because you are fighting.
Yeah,
Why
but
you're
you
fighting?
don't have any friend that's like a family, like your bro. That listen, we fight now, we talk later. Anybody coming after you, I got your back, boo. You don't have that kind of friend.
I have those kind of friends,
Hey, hey.
but I know that my friends,
They
I
have
will not
common
come
sense. They
into
won't do nonsense. Yeah, yeah.
to expose myself to harm.
Fair,
That kind
fair
of
enough.
friends I know I have. Yeah.
Mm.
So I feel in people, like, remember your friends and everything, they should know your boundary. Like you
Yeah.
mentioned, in a relationship, there's ladies I've spoken to, and they will tell me, look, once a man cheats, I'm off.
Yeah.
Although although that part about once a man cheats them off, and a guy, most guys in Nigeria, once a lady cheats, they will tell you, nothing can happen, another man, blah 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 blah. But when that time comes, it takes every strength, discipline, self-respect in you to pull out from that relationship.
Are you sure? Even for guys, I thought it was much easier. I thought for a guy, once it happens, it's done deal.
No. If a guy doesn't like a lady, if a guy genuinely likes a lady, when this guy, I think it's Michael Bolton that said, when the man loves a woman, he can. Yes, that song is legit. But yes, so once a guy likes a lady, genuinely likes a lady, likes a lady, he puts her like she's not, and she becomes that pillar where everything is built around. So if that pillar is shaking and everything, he's looking for how to balance the pillar. So that is how it is. So it's not as easy as people. Everybody will say, once the guy cheat, I don't go. It's mouth is easy. Ladies say it a lot, but a lot of things are when now the situation like people like there's a child, probably your careers are tied together. But I think one thing is let the person know your boundaries. Let the person know your values. Because if I know that you are going to forgive me for being stupid, what's stopping me from being stupid? So if I know that you will not forgive me if you call, if only 2 times you call and you expect me to come back, you tell me before we start dating, I don't like if I call you twice, my missed call me back. You don't expect me to start calling you for the whole day. I give you 2 missed calls, call me back. If I give you 3, it's an emergency. And I do it once, you call missed call and I ignore your missed call for 24 hours or for 12 hours. And I come out with one excuse and say, my phone was one place. I do it 2-3 times. And you just allow it slide without drawing attention that I don't like this bullshit. It will become a routine thing I will start doing over time. Like, I beg you understand. I bet she go understand. So I think that idea of let people know your boundary, you know what their responsibility for themselves and the relationship based on whatever terms or conditions that you guys agreed.
Okay, fair enough. And so as individuals, if you are the one that is, shirking, how do you advise that we take better responsibility as people when we're being called out by our loved ones, be it partners, romantic relationships, or, family members, colleagues, friends, even by our kids,
I think respect, that's where respect comes in. If you respect a person, it's not, if you respect a person, you are going to go, you want to make the person know that you or she, that you respect he or she, whoever that person is, whether your father, your mother. If your parents tell you, look, whatever you are doing is not making any sense anymore, and you respect your father or your mother, you're going to step up whatever thing you are doing. I think that's where respect comes in. I don't like putting love a lot in relationship, because love is, to a large extent, love is something that you keep on you keep on growing, working towards every day on the relationship. It's not just something that comes. Emotions just come, like they say, like somebody who is joyful and somebody who is happy. They are two different things. Emotions come like one period when you can just be very, very emotionally excited and you're just being all lovey-dovey. There's a period when you're not in that emotional state, but you do care about the person. So I think respect is something that keeps that whatever emotional attachment you have to that person, and whatever thing you have with person. Respect is what keeps you with that person. That's my own take. So if I respect you as a person, not as whether you're a boyfriend or a girlfriend or but as a friend or as a person, I think I'm going to listen to what you have to say and try my best to work on.
I totally 100% agree with that. I'm totally for that. Yeah, absolutely. So that takes me to the next question. So we've talked about this in general, I guess, and we've obviously hit on the Nigerian population and blah. So in the Nigerian context, do men and women take responsibility, in your opinion, from your experience, and from what you've heard?
Pardon, I didn't hear you.
I said, in the Nigerian context, do men and women take responsibility from your experience, in your opinion, from things that you've heard?
I think Nigerian context is people do what works for people. Sometimes do what works for them, or people sometimes do what society expects them to do. So in their own way, they take responsibility for their action, for what they are doing, or their actions in their own way, but in how they interpret it to be, based on their own POV, point of view, about the whole stuff. I think they do. Like some men, like you said, some women go out and feed the family. They raise it's their duty to take care of the family, to raise their children. And so
Yeah.
in the so their own way is that my responsibility is that my children are not going to be stupid. Yeah, they're not going to be foolish, or to be nuisance in society. My duty
Mm.
is to send them to school. My duty to pay their school. My duty to put food on their table. So in that way, people do that. But in relationship, people just take what works for them.
Yeah.
I've I had a conversation with a lady, and we're having about what we're talking about dating, and she mentioned something, and I asked her, like, finance. How do you see finance in marriage? And she said, the Bible said the man's duty to take care of the family, so the man should take care of the family. And I was like, so what about your own finance? She said, it's for me and my, and she said, it's for me and my family. I'm like, which
Eh.
family? He said me and my family, my siblings, my father, my mother. And I was really, I was blunt, but I told her, look, so if the man ends, every man in Nigeria, I don't know, but people I move with want to earn more than their wives, so they can provide more than what their wives can provide. So if I earn, for give or take, 500,000 naira, and you earn 150,000 naira a month, you are expecting me to, for 900,000, to pay the house rent, to put food on the table, to pay school fees, to do all these small expenses that pop up during the day and everything. I should cover that. Then I will still use that one to take care of myself. Also to take care of you as the wife. Also to give donations to both family and friends, and even your whatever church. And she said that's what the Bible said. And I told her, but the Bible did not say the woman should work.
Mm.
And she said, well, that her parents didn't train her to school to be a housewife. I said, I don't support anybody being a housewife. But so he said, yeah, that is her mindset, that my auntie does it. And I was like, okay, well, she's coming from, and she was justifying whatever she wants to, whatever she had to say. But
Mm.
I saw where she come from. Her auntie does it. It works for her auntie, so it should work for her.
Mm.
So you see, that's why I say people take what favors them and use. Like a Nigerian man believes that no, a, any girl that he or she has today should have a job. That's what he believes, so that she can take care of her basic needs. But because like they will tell you, that's what happens in the Western country. What happens in
Let's
US, in
clarify the
UK.
kind of Nigerian men. This new generation, yeah, and even people from our generation too. They're trying to, like, shift and copy. But in general, when we were coming up, this is not what we were seeing our older siblings, our older relatives doing. Do you know what I mean? Just to clarify. It's now everybody's
Yes.
like, okay, see what I'm seeing on social media. Me too, I want to do. So it's true. Your average Nigerian guy today will say that, but it's just important to clarify that, it's not representative of what the general idea has been historically. Right?
But when it comes to the relationship now, he wants 100% submission. She has no right,
Mm.
because that is our culture. That one is Western culture. You took the Western culture where the lady has to provide because it's
Damn.
favoring you. But
Yeah.
but your culture where the lady where the lady is a subject, it's not it's not an equal.
Mm.
That's one that you decide to take. So we just take what works for us. Well, this one, if does this one make sense? Yeah, it's good. This one makes sense. No, it's not. It does not go that straight away. So that is what. And same with the ladies. Ladies, like, okay, I have my rights to do the blah blah blah. It comes, you pick it. When you say this one comes now, like you want a man to take care of you, you want a man to provide all your needs, but you don't want the man to decide how you live your life. So you are taking the one from your culture that says the man should provide, but the one that gives the culture that gives you that identity as a woman, as an individual, as a human being, you don't. That's the one that you want. So you pick from the West that you pick from. So it's just the way we operate in Nigeria. We just take what works for us, and it works for some people. Why some people it does not work, but in long run, it's what works for you that you stick with.
Okay, so that's good. Thanks for sharing those gems with us. Before the podcast started as well, you mentioned something about a trend with Gen Z, which is also relevant to what you just said. You were saying it's particularly prevalent amongst Gen Z, right? Or where the woman might ask you your opinion, but she's going to do what she wants to do or something. It was tied into the topic you just said, the discussion we just the last few sentences. Yeah.
This thing where a person asks you, okay, I want what do you think I should do for this? And you feel like, oh, privileged to privilege or opportune to share your whatever wisdom you think you have with that person. And the person tells you, I want to do A, B, C, D. And you say, okay, why don't you do A, Z, 1? And the person says, okay. The person goes back and does A, B, C, D. And you come back and you're like, okay.
Why did you even ask me?
I like with at that initial this thing, you keep quiet, like, okay, maybe that's what works. And also at times you ask, why didn't you ask? The person say, so the person explains why he or she made it. And the person does it one or two times. And you are not like, why are you coming to ask me? When last it's the same thing that they are still going to do.
Yeah.
So because everybody, the society now focuses more on individual. So as much as we are trying to be communal and try to be partners and everything, that individual is still playing a major role in your decision-making process.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how I see it. That individual still plays a major role in how you make decision, whatever decision that you are making. So that's how I see it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chika, for gracing us with your presence. We've learned so much from this. And do you have any closing remarks?
Well, my closing remark is for relationship, don't approach relationship as something purely emotional. Approach it more as something like a contract. Terms and conditions apply. A and B,
exactly.
don't be so that before you lose your home training with emotions, you remember that there was something that you people agreed on. You must not cheat. If I call you twice, you must return my call. Something like that.
Okay, that's beautiful. Let me just also add as well that it's good if a person does agree to these terms and conditions, but what you must also do in this day and age, in this generation, it's wild out here in these streets, is pay attention and make sure that their actions actually match that. Some people actually will tell you, and it seems wild and dishonorable. It's just like, why are you gonna lie? Why are you gonna lie and accept something that you actually don't stand for? But these days, people will lie and say yes. The girl will tell you, yes, I'm this kind of woman, the one you're looking for. Yes, yes. The guy will tell you the same thing, yes, yes. But when you now actually are involved with them, you now find that it doesn't add up. So pay attention to that. You can enter the relationship after your terms and conditions have been met, but also pay attention to see that the actions actually follow with what they've agreed to. And that you also let your actions follow what you've agreed to. So yeah.
Yes, this is very true.
Yeah. So that's good. Thank you once again, as I say, for gracing.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, the honor is ours. And we're looking forward to having you soon in future for another topic. Okay. Yes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.